Where do the Steelers fit in this AFC picture? Aaron Rodgers is officially a Pittsburgh Steeler. In case you've been living under a rock, we all saw this coming from 10 miles away. Rodgers kept saying, "Oh no, I'm not going to sign with anyone yet. I don't know who I'm going to sign with." We all knew, bro. Everyone knew. The Steelers left the QB position wide open. It's official. Your reaction, Tony? Just you can say anything you want about Aaron Rodgers here.
Yeah, and this is going to shock you a little bit.
Oh no,
Mike. It's a good situation for this guy to be in. It's a good situation for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, it's like this. If here's my only question. What is the relationship between Arthur Smith and Aaron Rodgers going to be like? Are these two guys that can coexist? Have they had conversations about the visions they have and the type of offense they're going to run? And is there going to be motion? And is there all of these different things that they're going to figure out together? But like the floor we already know of the Pittsburgh Steelers is like 9 to 10 wins. You're telling me that Aaron Rodgers can't be the difference maker in a few games to get them to 11 wins this season to make sure that they continue that certain level of floor? The one question that many people have always had about Aaron Rodgers was playoff Aaron Rodgers is very different than 4-time MVP regular season Aaron Rodgers. But does he get here to the playoffs and not feel the pressure that he's felt in the past? Because I believe that the Steelers defense is going to max out. They've had some kind of up and downs the past couple of seasons. So I look at this and I go, hey, if this is way better to me than options that they could have had, right? Like if they would have committed to Justin Fields and given him like this sort of Baker Mayfield deal and said, hey, we messed up. We know we should have started you last year. We're going to go ahead and give you this, solid number of guarantees over the next couple of years. I just think like, let's do this 1 year. Will Howard is kind of there. Maybe he picks something up. Maybe he could be the guy or whatever. I don't have as high hopes as Steelers fans seem to online. But then next year you go into the draft and you still have resources, a lot of resources for next year's draft, and you draft the quarterback and you start doing that this year rather than trying to force something this year. They just were patient. They went with a veteran who I think can not like be magical, but could he help them get to 11 wins, kind of what the Steelers have been, and then get to the playoffs and have one magical run? Sure. I'm not going to bet against that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you would be against Rodgers and I'll be for Rodgers in these discussions. So we're not flipping here. I'm going to stick with Rodgers in a sense that I do think the same opinions that I thought before, but my heart isn't going all the way in like it did before. Ever again, by the way. Never again on Aaron Rodgers will my heart go in on that, no matter what he's doing, whether he's running for president or running for QB1 of the old man league. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to root for Aaron Rodgers anymore. But I will say I agree with you on a lot of things that you're saying. And I've been saying it for years, a lot like the 49ers. I keep banging my head against the wall. So I'm like, the 49ers should just stop being so confident and thinking that they can make every quarterback work and just bring in a quarterback that's already elite and working. And they should just lock in that they're going to win a Super Bowl. I felt like the Steelers have had a few teams that, like, if they had prime Big Ben on them, they might have went to the Super Bowl over the last couple of years. And this gives them a chance, like you're saying. When you look at the D line of the Pittsburgh Steelers, they actually may have the best defensive line in football this year. Like, I think they will surpass the Eagles. I mean, the list just goes on and on. You got Highsmith, Herbig, TJ Watt, obviously, if they get the contract done. Cam Hayward, Keanu Benton, Loudermilk, Patrick Queen, Peyton Wilson, both can rush the passer as well out of the linebacker position. Then they drafted Derek Harmon. I mean, the list goes on. I'm sure they have guys in their depth chart that I don't know about that are good. It's just the freaking Steelers.
Yeah, they drafted a big run guy in, what is it, Y.A. Black?
Yeah. So if Caleb Johnson works out, the running back they got out of Iowa, we already know Jalen Warren's a freaking stud. They can run the ball, keep possession. They've been winning games with Russell Wilson in this defense.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I mean, it should work out, and the Steelers should be competing for the division.
Mike Tomlin is the kind of coach, too, that I think Aaron Rodgers is very respectful of. Like, I think he understands that. as to where, like, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is disrespectful as the media makes him out to be, right? Like, it's one of those situations where, like, he kind of taunts the media into saying shitty things about him. You know, like, he goes on a Rogan podcast that talks for 3 hours and, like, none of it's about football. And that's really what the football community wants. So then they just are like, this guy's a crazy it's like a human being who has thoughts that aren't about football, and you don't know how to make that into, you can't use that for your content machine. So, like, in the world we're in, he seems like not interested or nuts or whatever, but, like, somebody brought up a good point on something I was listening to yesterday. I wish I could remember it. They said that Aaron Rodgers was there for, like, the first 8 weeks, and then he missed the mandatory camp because he did the Egypt thing, and everybody went and talked crazy about that. But then, like, Lamar Jackson missed, like, one, like a couple days of something, and nobody talked about Lamar Jackson, or, or wasn't there before, but made the mandatory thing. It was vice versa, and nobody talked about that. And it's like, well, we didn't. Part of the reason we don't talk about that is because we don't have questions about what Lamar Jackson and the Ravens are going to be until playoff time. And then people start going, well, why didn't they run the ball more? And that seems to be the conversation we have about them every year. With the Jets, it was like, we just want to believe that everybody's bought in and everybody's on the same page, and it can be successful. But Mike Tomlin sets a floor to me that is just fine. Like, he's gonna upset the Ravens in a game, like crazy, whatever. They might lose a game to the Browns, and we'll be like, what? The Steelers are terrible. And then the next week they'll come back and go toe to toe with the Chiefs. It's like, it's just what they do.
Yeah. They still have an elephant in the room themselves of fixing their offensive line too. So they're going to have to deal with some inconsistency, I think, especially early on in the year, working through that. The more and more I sit on it, Tony, the more and more I think about DK Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers and what they're probably going to be. I think it's going to be a good duo. I think it's good they traded George Pickens.
Yeah.
I'm starting to.
So he's going to favor one receiver, like he's always kind of been that way. And he just needs some other reliable targets. Roman Wilson is a player that I've really liked. I think Calvin Austin is also somebody that, he can get work out of there. For me, I would like to see them maybe get in the wide receiver trade market. Like, if there is another player out there. They've
been rumored for the Terry McLaurin stuff. And
not necessarily with the Allen Lazards, but, like, is there a player that's, that's been good, like.
Is that a Keenan Allen spot?
Yes. Keenan Allen, like somebody
if he wants to play there. I don't know if he wants to play on the East Coast.
Yeah, somebody that's gonna get open, and because I think that I saw their depth chart, and I think it was like DK Metcalf and then Robert Woods, and I was like, wait, Robert Woods still in the NFL? Like,
yeah,
you might have to check that one. This might be me speaking out of pocket here, but, like, I just remember seeing it and being like, wait, their wide receiver 2 on this depth chart is, and I just remember looking at it and going like, yeah, they probably need one more guy in this spot that to make it
Roman Wilson breakout season. Oh, Calvin Austin. Yeah, he's on here too. And Robert Woods are on the starting depth chart as of right now.
Yeah.
Scotty Miller, Ben Skronik. They already got a bunch of little Rodgers guys in here. Maybe Scotty Miller could remind Aaron Rodgers about that fade route right before halftime. Be like, this is what it takes to win the Super Bowl. Here's what it takes to have some balls.
Yeah, and they don't really need like a high volume receiver. Just they need a guy for sure that's going to be and it could be Roman Wilson, the guy that's going to be a solid route runner that's going to create separation and get open on a third down, on a 3rd and 6. Like somebody that Rodgers is going to trust with a choice route that says like, hey, this is what we're doing. They're in zone against this coverage or whatever it is, and I know that I can go to you when we need to
Romeo Dobbs reunion?
Was Dobbs the rookie on that
I have
team?
no idea.
Bill Flames, I'm with Mike on the mic. What's something brand new, one time for your mind. He gave you fair warning. Now it's time to smack him in the mouth with that raw sports talk from the town. Sweet chin music to your favorite sportscaster.